Mini episode 1310 of the FDH Lounge is brought to you by Sportsology, delivering unconventional columns and webcasts about sports, TV, music, movies, and more. Follow them on the web at sportsology.com.
The FDH Lounge. You'll want to schedule your life around it.
A long time ago, on a gloomy, wet Cleveland spring night, two men stand alone amidst the late-night drizzle. Their voices echo across the vacant station parking lot as they debate the merits of the great American radio show that have been missing for far too long. On that night, an idea was born. That idea became the FDH Lounge. Welcome to the FDH Lounge.
Hello and welcome to FDH Lounge Mini Episode 1310. I'm FDH Managing Partner Rick Morris here with our weekly preview of Fargo Season 4. Here's our top 5 notes of interest heading into the season's final episode. Number 5, we've seen the start of Satchel's future, and now we need to see more. His run-in with the racists in the truck saw him stand up to them and pull out a gun, not for the last time in his life, as we know. One way or another, he'll be back in KC as an adult in the mob, but it's now or never on having him return to his own family first. Here's a thought. Will he cross paths with his Season 2 boss, Joe Bulow? Number 4. Why did Orietta accost Ethelrita with no apparent plan? That whole scene was weird, plus the fact that the murder nurse was so preoccupied with her revenge on the youngster that she stuck around in town long enough to get busted for the attempted murder of Dr. Harvard. Before that, at least we got the suspense of her attempted murder on Ethelrita, but the resumption of hostilities between them felt a bit off. Number 3. Otis goes out with a bang and inadvertently takes Gaetano with him. The sad journey of the crooked cop ended with mistaken glory when he busted one gang on behalf of his new benefactors before inevitably being murdered by the old benefactors. His life was a tragic mix of bad things that happened to him and his own mistaken and sometimes downright evil means of trying to gain back control over his circumstances. Immediately after snuffing the hapless cop, Gaetano accidentally shot himself to death in classic Fargo fashion. The chessboard is really thinning out, which will help the storytelling in the finale, but hamper the Fada family at the same time, as their upper ranks are being relentlessly thinned out. Number 2. Loy's in-laws from the country waste no time in betraying him. Reaching out to his country counterparts was not something that Loy wanted to do, but he got desperate enough and regretted it almost immediately. Of course, that left him open for the big offer from Ethelrita. Speaking of which, number 1, how does this endgame finally play out? The mob war will climax with Ethelrita and Orietta still doing their little dance. Also, Zelmir may have appeared in the final episode preview. The future Mike Milligan is out in the wind, and we haven't seen his funeral yet, which would be an interesting time for him to resurface. Loy apparently has a short-lived flirtation with a truce with the Fada consigliere prior to the final fireworks, which just adds more spice to the proceedings. This season's canvas was stretched tighter than ever, with so many characters and subplots, perhaps a bit excessively so, but we enter the final chapter with a tighter focus and the likelihood of a memorable finale. We certainly hope so anyway. Thank you for joining us for this mini episode of the FDH Lounge.